The Onero Institute is a youth-driven, nonprofit research organization that seeks to develop the next generation of leaders and foreign affairs experts by bridging the divide between young people and the professional community, and by better engaging youth and the world community on international issues. When the idea for the Onero Institute was born, we were both in high school, roommates during our semester in Washington, D.C. at the School for Ethics and Global Leadership. That fall, as we explored some of the world's most complex policy questions and engaged with leading scholars, diplomats, and practitioners working on them, we came to notice a major gap in the field of international affairs, one that had to be filled.
We were attending an event at one of the city's top think tanks. When it came time for questions, our hands shot up. The moderator called on us and said something like, "We need more young people like you coming to these talks. Bring your friends next time." Immediately, we started asking ourselves, how do we get young people in the door? How do we remove barriers to facilitate the entry of new voices to a field that desperately needs it? How can we build a space that empowers young people to be leaders, not just tomorrow, but today? We hope to see the youth of our world exhibit social responsibility. We aspire to live in a society that respects and accepts the voices of well-informed young global citizens in political discourse. We strive for a community in which succeeding generations of youth can lead and hold their leaders accountable to create a more sustainable future.
We thank you for your partnership on our path in advancing the role of youth in international affairs. We can't wait to show you what we've been working on and where we're heading.
I'm Annalise Baranaga, and I'm the co-director for the Latin American and Caribbean program. The Onero Institute's regional programs provide an opportunity for students to come together with peers who have similar interests and to talk about problems and opportunities in their region of choice. It's also a chance for students to connect with other professionals in DC, and perhaps most importantly, it's a chance for students to really delve into a topic of their choice and to research and publish their own unique findings. The launch of the Latin America and Caribbean program was really a team effort all across Onero. There were a whole host of really high-level events that came with the launch of the program. For instance, one of them featured the former president of Peru, Francisco Sagasti. Another one highlighted the current Mexican ambassador, Moctezuma. I got to speak at that event to formally inaugurate the Latin America and Caribbean program, and it was truly an amazing experience. All throughout my time at Onero, it's been great to see how an organization that's built off of students' excitement for international affairs can also be an organization that produces real, tangible results. It produces events that host former presidents, and an organization that hosts ambassadors and experts, that publishes pages and pages of students' research. All the way back in freshman year, my first meeting with Onero was just between me, another interested member, and Elad, and it was in the basement of District House at GW. I could not be more amazed at how much Onero has grown. From that small meeting to an organization that can't even fit in an auditorium, the growth has really been truly exciting to watch.
My name is Nikhil Samuel. I'm the former chief editor of the Onero Institute. The researching process at Onero is very much centered around the individual and their interests. Then we begin by having that individual develop an outline in collaboration with some of the more experienced researchers. When that individual has a better sense of their topic, then they start to go through the stages of developing an actual research paper. And as they develop that paper, they have the constant support from not only their peers at the Onero Institute, but also experts within the Elliott School of International Affairs that Onero connects them with. So ultimately, at the end of the process, when these individual researchers have finalized their process, they have already gone ahead and will be more prepared to develop their own individual research and be set up for success in the long term. Whenever freshmen come up to me and ask me, how do I get my first internship? The very first thing I tell them is get published in a student organization. Having your name published with your own individual research really sets you apart from the pack. I would say that my first Onero piece was instrumental to my first professional experience, my first internship. The Onero Summit that I presented at was in 2021, so a while ago now. I wrote my freshman year about the appointment of Karim Khan as the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. And I had the opportunity to actually co-present with someone from one of my first internships. Being able to present my own research at a summit as only a freshman alongside a very well-experienced international law student, though daunting, really gave me the confidence I needed to excel and push myself further along my professional journey. Because I joined Onero as a freshman, it proved incredibly formative throughout everything else I did in the rest of my career. Onero gives you 100% creative license, so while in an internship or in a class you might be given instructions, in Onero you really are the master of your own product and you get to develop and fine-tune your craft as much as you would like.
My name is Grace Trong. I'm one of HR's Human Resources co-directors. HR serves sort of as an intermediate between teams and members. So we use semester roundups, general member body meetings to connect members with their team leaders, to connect them with us so that we can provide good resources to them, good, strong relationships and networking opportunities, as well as opportunities to foster a good, inclusive culture. We have been trying to streamline a lot of processes in order to enhance our organizational skills, our abilities to reach members, and also help team leaders and members succeed with their projects through these processes, and creating a good system, a good foundation for members to create their content and access us as a resource. I began as a little HR assistant, honestly not doing much until the application process started rolling around. Me and the other co-director, Corey, were promoted to co-director, and that was a huge step because now we're seeing a lot more of the behind the scenes work behind the organization and a lot of the nonprofit building efforts. It's been really interesting to see the thought process behind the way that we're building these foundational structures and trying to use our little organizing websites and our little spreadsheets to create something that looks very professionalized, very polished, and reaches people beyond GW. So that's been a very cool process to be a part of, and I'm really interested to see how we continue to grow.
My name is Christopher Zarazik, and I am a co-chief editor of the Delta Foreign Affairs newsletter. I think something that makes the Delta particularly unique is that it is entirely curated by youth, unlike many foreign affairs newsletters that we read today. This allows us to grow professionally, and I think it allows us to convey information directly to our peers, as well as professionals in their careers. I've been thankful to be with the Delta for almost 2 years now, starting as a contributor, where I was writing in the Europe and Eurasia region. And now as co-chief editor, I'm very thankful to be working alongside Caitlin in this position, as well as with the rest of the contributors. I think being co-chief editor has given me an opportunity to further explore other regions. So this allows me to broaden my knowledge, explore different current events and developments around the world, and all around it allows me to be a more informed student, which I really do appreciate. In this day and age, we know we're pretty digital, so having these, digital modes of communication, whether that be email or podcasts, it helps reach people on the go and meeting them where they're at, and I think that makes the Delta and the podcast content that we produce particularly special.
The Onero Institute is a collaborative and inclusive space that brings views important to our generation to the forefront of policy research.
The Onero Institute is a place for students to go from being simply observers of international affairs to practitioners of international affairs.
The Onero Institute is what plugs new students into the rhythm of Washington, D.C., into the Elliott School of International Affairs, and gives them the best starting point they could ever ask for in their careers.
The Onero Institute is the next generation ready to step up and serve.
The Onero Institute is much more than an organization. It stands for something much larger than itself, something that gives us all hope, even in the darkest of times. The belief that young people can change the world.